A while back, I made a video talking about depression. And I feel like that was a very important video, if I'm being honest with you guys. Because I feel like more people in this world than are willing to admit suffer from or have suffered from depression at some point in their life. And one of the things that I told you guys that you have to do, if you're in this mindset, one of the things that you have to do, it's not even a want, it's a must. One of the things that you must do is talk to someone. Is sit down with someone, friend, family member, whoever, and just tell them that you have depression, you're suffering from it, and that you need help. It may be that the road you take leads you to medication. It may be that the road you take just leads you to talking to a therapist. But whatever it is, you have to talk to someone. And so in the aftermath of that video, I've been thinking for the last while, really ever since I made that video, how I wanted to do a follow-up, how I wanted to talk about life after depression. And I was going through my morning process. Those of you guys who know what that means, morning communal. I was on the John. I was on the toilet. And I was thinking, I was watching this YouTube video where it was like this motivational video. And it was one of the things was from Joe Rogan. It focused a lot on what he said, but one of the things he said was, you have to be the hero of your own story. And I had never thought about that before. Well, I'd watched that video a while ago, to be honest, but I hadn't thought about that before. Be the hero of your own story. Because isn't that what everybody really strives to be? At the end of the day, we really are the star of our own story. We're the star of our own lives. The Life of Rob, starring Rob Jefferson. All these different things. And I feel like that is such an uplifting ideology to have. Because here's the thing, we talked about this in the depression video, right? We talked about this in that video, that you feel like you're in the passenger seat of your own life. That depression took over the driver's seat, and you don't want to go where it's taking you, but you feel powerless, right? Like, the seatbelt's strapped on, and your hands are strapped down, your legs are strapped down, and you're just there. You're just occupying a space, which is a terrible feeling to have. But at this point in your life, by talking to someone, by addressing that, you're taking that wheel back. You're literally fighting for that steering wheel, right? You got depression on one side, that's trying to steer, and you got you on the other side trying to take the wheel, and you're slowly but steadily beginning to veer this car back onto the course that you've been trying to get yourself back on. But for some people, it's just so scary, or they just don't know how to do that. And so to give you guys some perspective, life after depression, it's a whole different beast. This is the single most important thing you have to remember, though. This is the one thing that you have to bear in mind, that you always have to keep in your head. This is a part of you now. The depression's in the back seat now, maybe locked up in the trunk, but it's not gone. It's not out of the car. You didn't leave it on the side of the road and drive off. That'll never happen. There will never be a point when depression will no longer be a part of your life. It will always be a part of your life. But just because it's a part of your life does not mean it has to control your life. And that's the difference. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. The good days are going to be you as the person you always saw yourself as. The good days are going to be you hanging out with your friends and laughing and cutting up and having a great time and going to bars and getting hammered. Going up to the bartender and being like, let me get an Incredible Hulk. And he's like, what the hell's an Incredible Hulk? He's like, well, Rob Jefferson told me an Incredible Hulk, and it's Hennessy and Hypnotic. 1/3 Hypnotic, 2/3 Hennessy, like people even drink that anymore, and it'll get you crunk. And the bartender will be like, okay, I guess I'll mix this. And then, you drink it and you're like, yeah, man, this is good. And then somebody next to you orders it, and then suddenly they have it on the menu. That happened to me, actually. When I was taken to I don't know if I ever told you guys the story about when I was taken to a drag show. Okay, on the off chance that I haven't told you guys a story, I'm going to tell you guys a story. All right, so I feel like that's going to be an on-running theme on this channel, that I'm going to forget the stories I tell you guys and then tell the same story multiple times. But okay, so I turned 21, right? Okay, this is what life's like after depression, guys. You're a much happier person. So I had just turned 21, right? And my older sister says, okay, I'm going to take you to one of my clubs, because my older sister is gay, right? Finally found a partner, a person that she can settle down with. But at the time, she was kind of bouncing around and doing just bouncing from person to person to person to person. She had the most inconsistent life ever. And so she's seeing some chick at the time, and she says, "Well, you're 21, so like you need to come to Club Liquid. All right, you need to come to Club Liquid and hang out." And so I'm like, "Okay, Club Liquid's in Wood Hill. All right, now anybody who lives in Lexington will tell you Wood Hill is rough. Oh, it's a rough ass place. There's this one part of Lexington that I cannot remember what it was called for the life of me, but it was, I mean, it was super rough, and it was on Georgetown Road. Not for those of you guys who are familiar with Lexington. Not when I say Georgetown Road, I don't mean Whitney Young. It wasn't the Whitney Young area. It wasn't like St. Martin's Village or anything. It was closer. Like they tore it all down and they built up a whole bunch built up like a whole bunch of apartments, and I cannot remember the name of that place. God, it drives me insane trying to remember the name of this place. Hell's bells, I'm gonna have to look it up. But cops wouldn't go in there, and like they would only go in there like 2 at a time or more. They would not go in there by themselves. And so anyway, so Wood Hill was like a really, really rough spot. This is on the other side of town, but Wood Hill was a rough spot, and so there was like a rough crowd that hung out there. I get in, like I'm like they card me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm 21, get my ID. And I get in there, and like I'm hanging out with my sister because I've never been to a club in my life, like never been to like a bar or a club or anything like that. And so I'm hanging out with my sister, and I'm talking to her, and this gay dude, walks up on me and starts grinding on my leg, right? Just like, like give me the look, like, hey. And I remember I was brand new to the world. All right, 21 years old, brand new to the world, never been to bars or anything like that. And my adventures in like the sexual realm were pretty limited at that point in time. And so I'm just sitting here kind of like frozen, no idea what to do. And I look over at my sister. I'm like, what do I do? She's like, just tell him you're not interested. And I was like, I'm not really interested. And like, he had like the saddest look on his face and walked off. So I was like, well, I want to get some alcohol. And she's like, yeah, let's get some alcohol. So we go up to the bar, and I tell him like, hey, I want an Incredible Hulk. All right, now I found out about an Incredible Hulk, and I found out about Incredible Hulks from a party with a buddy of mine, John, and that deserves a video unto itself because that party was rowdy. Oh my God, that party was rough. Chicks getting in fights, Cheetos everywhere. John's sister, it's not my first time. It's not my first time. Oh my God, that party. John almost got his ass kicked. Oh, I need to tell that story. I need to make a video telling that story. God, it was the best story ever. Okay, so anyway. So I'm standing up at the bar, and I'm like, yeah, I want you guys have Incredible Hulk. And the bartender's like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, it's because I look around to see what they have. They have Hennessy and they have Hypnotic, which is what you need for Incredible Hulk. And I'm like, well, it's one part Hennessy, 2 parts Hypnotic. And he's like, okay. And so like he mixes it up, and I'm just like, yes, this is exactly, like I taste it. I'm like, this is perfect, man. And so I end up going and sitting down. All right, my sister had 3 of those that night. They were like, she was out of her mind drunk. They ended up having to drag her out of a car into a fucking Waffle House at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Those of you guys who don't know, Waffle House, man, that place is the king of places when you get drunk. If you have a Waffle House in your town and you get crunk, you need to go to the Waffle House. The other place was Tally Ho in Lexington. That was a spot to go to when you were hammered, really. The problem with Tally Ho is they were always shooting people and shit inside that place. I was like, man, it was rough, man. They had like a sheriff stationed outside the place at night because shit would always pop off. Folks would get in there, man. Just people get rowdy. Oh, Rob Jefferson in the party scene, man. From the time that I was 21 until I was about 25, I really kind of run myself ragged. Like I ran myself ragged, going through that whole party scene. Anyway, so I'm sitting down there, like drinking my drink. I'm going up and ordering a second one, because I ran through the first one pretty fast. And like there's a drag show going on. All right, now the drag show starts, right? And this is like some shit out of Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julia Newmar. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie, Tu Wong Fu. Like Patrick Swayze, John Leguizamo, and Wesley Snipes dressed in drag. It's hilarious. You guys need to watch that movie. There's like these truckers that get their ass kicked by what's his name? Oh hell, I just said his name. Shit, Patrick Swayze. There we go. Old age kicking him. So anyway. So the drag show starts, right? And like they're like, hey, like the music's going and everything, and then like the Grand Poobah drag queen comes out, right? Like the Grand Poobah. All right, I'll never forget this. White chick, or white dude, Anyway, like it was a white person, like white hair. When I say white, I mean like white hair, like a wig. Look like they had a head full of curly fries, and they have like this huge like white dress, thing going on. I mean, they were dressed spectacular. I'll give them that. Oh, hell's bells. I was just like, damn, they're dressed. I was like, is this what drag shows are like? And my sister's like, yeah, this is what drag shows are like. So I was like, okay. So the Grand Poobah comes out there and is like, hey everyone, like the most feminine male voice I ever heard. Hey everyone, how's everybody doing? Everybody having a good time? Everybody drunk? And carrying on. And so she's like, who's here for their first drag show? Now by this point, my sister is hammered. Like she is. She's drunk out of her fucking mind. And so she's like, he is, and it's his birthday. And then, and then the drag queen turns around, drops all pretense and says, oh, really? The most masculine voice I'd ever heard in my life. I was like, and so I'm just sitting here at this table, just like, yeah. Scared out of my wits, scared out of my mind, right? Just absolutely scared. I'm just like, oh my God. The light, they had like this light thing, this little spotlight that would shine down on people on the stage. Spotlight shines on me. My sister's like, go on, get up there, Bobby, you're gonna like it. So I get up, mortified, right? Most terrified I've ever been in my life. I had sex for the first time and I wasn't even that terrified. As terrified as I've been in my life. Get up there on stage, and the drag queen's just like sitting there on the thing, and it's like, have a seat, buddy. And I was like, oh my God. So I sit down on the lap of this drag queen. And she's sitting there asking me questions like, what brings you here? And I'm like, my sister's here. Everybody in there, I mean, in hindsight, it was funny as hell. But at the time, I was just mortified. I was scared out of my mind. And like, the more it went on, the more I was like, this is like some shit out of the Twilight Zone. Now, I've been to a couple more drag shows in my time since then. And drag shows are really, really fun. It's not even about being gay. It's just about like going there, like having a fun time, right? Like, I'm not a gay guy, but it's funny as hell because everybody's drunk and people are having a good time. I mean, I'm not really drunk, but like people are having a good time and like everybody's dancing and all kinds. They're entertaining as hell. Like, they're funny. And then you see like those, like you see some of those folks. Now all right. Let's be a little bit honest with ourselves here. All right. Honesty time. All right. Let's be a little honest with ourselves here. There were a couple folks who were in drag that I was originally tricked. I was originally fooled. I was like, man, that girl's pretty damn hot. And it's like, that's not a girl, dude. Like, that's a dude. And it's like, no, man, like that's a chick. And like the more you look at them, the more you're like, okay. And then you look for the one telltale sign they can't get rid of with surgery, the Adam's apple. And it's like, oh my God, that's a dude. But yeah, it's like there were some folks who they were going through like the whole transition. And it was like, damn. And then you saw some folks who came out there and it was like, man, what the hell were you thinking? I know you didn't believe you looked fabulous when you went walking out the house in that outfit. Yeah, I mean, like you see stuff like that, and it's like they're hilarious. But anyway, back on topic. All right, so back on topic. All right, so life after depression. All right. No idea how we go from a topic on life after depression to going to a drag show, but we did, and you know what? We're better for it. You can't tell me it wasn't a good story. So anyway, so this is the important thing to bear in mind, guys. You're gonna have good days and you're gonna have bad days. All right, your good days are gonna be the amazing days, and they're gonna be the person you know you are, the person you've always known you've been, where you're like the life of the party and you hang out with your friends and everybody wants to be around you. And then you're gonna have your bad days, and the bad days are gonna be, God, they're gonna be some rough days. I mean, they're gonna be just knock down, drag out days. You're not going to want to get out of bed. You're not going to want to go see anyone. You're not going to want to do anything. If you had it your way, you would sink right back down into depression again. And that's what the bad days are. Bad days are depression's way of just trying to pull you right back, but you have to resist. You have to fight against that. You talk to anybody who's ever been an addict, an alcoholic, a drug addict, anybody who's ever had any kind of addiction whatsoever, and they will tell you it's a daily struggle. Like, to not fall back into their addictive habits is a struggle. They have to literally change their daily habits in order to keep from falling back into the person they were before, because their daily habits are a part of who they were before. And so that's what you need to learn to do. You need to learn to shift your life up. You have to learn to change things up, and it's the only way to cope. All right, this might be picking up a hobby. For example, I picked up photography. I picked up videography. I have my bad days, guys. I have my terrible bad days. I have those terrible days, when I don't really want to talk to anybody or see anybody. But when I'm having those bad days, I talk to people. Yesterday I opened up to a person who's very close to me, and I opened up to her in a way that I haven't really opened up to anybody in a long time, very long time. and it felt good. It was a good feeling to be able to have that kind of connection to a person. These are things that you have to be able to do. You have to be able to open yourself up. You have to be able to take risks. It's going to be so easy to kind of stay closed off and to stay guarded and to say, okay, like I fell into this state of depression when I was adventurous, when I was doing crazy things. And I don't want to be crazy or be adventurous or do crazy things anymore because I'll end up back to where I was before. But you'll start building these walls around yourself that'll be impenetrable. And it'll take a person of the highest caliber to get through them. But a lot of people will look at that and they'll say, I don't want to be a part of that person's life, because they're sad all the time or different thing like that. You want to go back to being the person that you were before. You want to go back to being the highlight, the great person. You want to look back on your life and see your life lived as if you had nothing but just highlight reels of great moments. Like that's what you want. I know that's what you want. And so go do that. Go pick up hobbies, change up your habits, start going for a walk, exercise. There is a direct correlation. There is a scientific correlation between exercise and depression, between exercising, alleviating the effects of depression and helping those overcome depression and keep it at bay. Notice I didn't say keep it away, to keep it at bay. Like there's a direct correlation between those things. Change your life up, try something new, just experiment. Get out there and live, because what you've done is you've experienced this dark, heinous moment in your life, something that most people will never ever experience. And you came out the other end, because remember, not everybody comes out the other side. Not everybody comes out the other end of this. Some folks experience this and they never recover. They never come back from it. And it's got to be a sad thing to know, to know that some folks just never, whether it's because they end up, deciding to cut their life short, or whether it's because they just emotionally and mentally shut down. And they just never go back to being the person they were before. Regardless of the circumstance, some people never recover. But if you're watching this, I have to believe that you want to. I have to believe that you want to recover and be the person that you were before. And so if that's true, then do new things. Do things that you've never done before. Try things that would have scared the hell out of you and just give it a shot and see what happens. What's the worst that could happen if you decide to go on a vacation to a town you've never been to before? What's the worst that could happen if you decide you want to experiment with photography? You take some bad pictures. So, everybody in this world had to learn to be good at what they are. Nobody was ever born good at something. Everybody was always, everybody was at some point the new guy. So don't worry about those things. Just get out there and live your life, because that's what you have. You have a new lease on life. You've effectively hit the reset button. Maybe you moving beyond, maybe you going out and doing something else is you quitting your job and finding a different one. Maybe it's you finding your true calling. Maybe you find the love of your life. Regardless of the circumstances, you have a new lease on life. Go live it. Go live this life. Go get out there and do crazy shit and go to drag shows and be made to sit on a drag queen's lap. Okay. You know what? I've been sitting here thinking about this because I'm in a pretty good mood today. I've been sitting here thinking about this. I'm going to tell you guys a story about how I learned about Incredible Hulk. And I know some of you guys are probably like, yes, I really wanted to. I didn't want to have to wait. I feel like that would make... Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I got to make that a different video. I got to do a different video because it would just be a fun video to tell by itself. I got to make that a different video. Okay, so we'll do that in story time. We'll call it like story time, the Incredible Hulk. Like we'll call it that. We'll call it Incredible or Incrunkable Hulk. We'll call it Incredible Hulk. Yeah, man, I'll never forget that. Chris came running up on me, man. Have you seen my Jim Beam? It tastes like cotton candy. I'm like, Chris, I think you had too much to drink, man. Oh, little Josh playing the piano. It was a crazy party. Oh, it was a crazy party. Man, people were flabbergasted by it. They were just like, man, this kid's this kid's crazy good. It's like he's playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. How good can he possibly fucking be? He's not Mozart, but everybody was drunk and they thought it was the greatest thing ever. Anyway, guys, we're gonna bring this video to an end. And yeah, just the most important takeaway from this, guys, life after depression, do not forget to live. You only ever have one shot. Get out there, live your life. Don't even worry about what happens. Just get out there and live. Be responsible, make sure you can put a roof over your head and clothes on your back and food in your mouth and so on. But aside from that, you only live once. Why the hell would you live your life according to artificial boundaries that don't make sense to anything? So anyway, guys, we're going to bring this video to an end, and I will catch you all later. Peace.